In this video, you're going to learn how to create a business account on Instagram. And this is the first step to you using Instagram as a powerful marketing tool to grow your business. So the first thing you want to do is download the Instagram app. And to do that, you can just open up any browser, type in download Instagram app. It should pop right up and you can get it absolutely free on iPhone or Android or any other device. So once you've got the app downloaded, you want to go ahead and then open it up. And what you actually want to do here now is log in with your personal Facebook profile. So you'll see this option here, continue as your name, and you want to go ahead and click that. And then once we're inside our personal profile, we can add up to 5 business accounts. So I'm going to click the option to continue with my Facebook account. Then you want to go ahead and click on your icon in the bottom right hand corner to open up your personal profile. And then inside your personal profile, you want to click on the settings gear icon in the top right hand corner. Scroll down and then you want to click on add an account. Now, what we want to do here is go ahead and click on sign up in the bottom of the screen. Next, you'll want to add in a phone number and an email, and it's best to make this your business phone number and email because they would need to be different to your personal account. Once you've added those in, you can just click next. And now you want to add in here your business name and a secure password. So for this example, I'll just put in a fictional business name here and a secure password. And then click next. Here we can see that we have created our account now. Now you can see that it's given me a business name. I can change this if I want, which I think I'd like to do. So I can change this to something more like my business name. And I can see if that's available, which it is, the little green tick. So then I can just click next. Now there are going to be options here to add Facebook friends, etc. You can just skip all of these. And we can just click done in the top right hand corner. We can click cancel. And now we can really come in and see our business profile. So to do that, we can click on the bottom right hand corner and we can see here is my business account setup. There is one further important step that we need to take. And to do that, we can click on the gear icon in the top right hand corner once again. And you're going to see this option to switch it to a business profile. So this will allow us to advertise on Instagram. It'll allow us to get access to the insights, etc. So this is an important step to do in order to get access all of that stuff. So you can just click continue. It gives you a little bit of an overview of the benefits of switching to a business account. And then this is an important step as well. We need to choose a page to link it to from Facebook. So Facebook owns Instagram now, and a key part of that when they bought them, they really are now forcing an integration between Facebook and Instagram. So you need to create or link a Facebook page. So it should show up all of the Facebook pages that I've created. If you haven't created a page, you can go ahead and click create one at the bottom there. But I've just set up a Facebook page. You'll see all of the pages you're an admin for here. You can just select it and then click next. And then you can input once again your business email and phone number. And this information will be visible to your Instagram followers. So it is important to put this in accurately, a phone number or an address. And you just even need to just put in one. So click done. And now we can go to the profile. And there we go. Now we have set up our business account on Instagram. I know there was a couple of steps in there. So you can go back over the video if you need to set it up for yourself. But the key reason that we've set it up this way is now I can switch between my personal profile and any other business accounts that I've set up. And as I said, you can add up to 5 business accounts within the one app here. So that makes it much easier for your workflow day to day to set it up this way. So now that you know how to set up a business account for Instagram, go ahead and set one up for yourself or for a client or a company that you're working for. The number one thing that you can do to have success on Instagram is to follow some top accounts in your niche. So you can really understand how they've laid out their profile, what information they're putting there, and most importantly, what content are they putting out that is getting a huge amount of engagement. So to find those top accounts, what you want to do is come to the Discovery tab in Instagram. And you can see that by default, Instagram is going to be suggesting some accounts and even highlighting some content here. Now, what you really want to do to find accounts in your niche are either to type the account names right in the top here, or start to look for some keywords in your business. So let's just imagine that I was a personal finance planner, and I could just type in something like personal finance. Now, what I want to make sure that I'm selecting here is not just the top posts or hashtags, but in particular, I want to look at individual people here. And then you really want to scroll down and start to really have a look into some of these accounts here. See how many followers they have. See the way that they laid out their profile. They're using some emojis here. They've got a link to their website. They've got their email there. And importantly is then the type of content that they're putting out. Now, this is probably the best way for you to understand, is Instagram for you? If there are people here getting engagement on their content, you can be guaranteed that you could do the same thing as well. Now let's click into some of their content to see how much engagement they're getting. Okay, so 87 likes. Let's have a look at this one, 70 likes. And we can get a sense, there's a couple of quotes here, there's pictures here. But what we might want to do if we don't think that this is the greatest match and an account for us to model is right beside their account, beside the follow button, there's a little drop down blue arrow. And then we can see some other suggestions. Even if we click see all, we can get a full list of these similar accounts on the similar topic. And here we go, Dave Ramsey. He's got a blue tick beside his name. So that's a verified account, and it's also said is popular there. So this could be a good account for us to model if we were in this niche. We can see a lot more followers this time around, 586K. And he's got a link there, call, email directions. And let's have a look at some of the content. 5,400 likes. Congratulations, it's a repost. Excited to announce it became debt free. Okay, so here is some interesting type content if I was in this niche, really showing people who have achieved a goal that maybe I'm a consultant to help them to achieve. And essentially this is a repost again. So this is somebody else's content that this guy Dave Ramsey has just reposted and tagged the Instagram accounts of the actual people in the picture. So already I'm building up a very clear idea of how to do it well and the type of content that I can put out. There's some kind of people here becoming debt free. There's some quotes here that's kind of related to this niche. And you can see that even for this type of business, there isn't a requirement for you to appear hugely on camera all the time and be like an Instagram celebrity who's beautiful and doing their nails. There are other possibilities for using Instagram to market a business. And that's why I wanted to start with something a little bit more that you wouldn't think would fit perfectly with Instagram. But you can see here, he is America's trusted voice on money, huge following, getting a huge amount of engagement on his posts. So if I wanted to get into this niche, then I go ahead and follow him. And even from here, I can go ahead and do the drop down arrow again and start to find similar accounts there. And even it's going to show me some popular people. So it's going to take a while for you to go ahead and click through and find those top accounts that you can follow. It'll take you maybe 10 minutes to find 5 accounts, but this short exercise is really going to accelerate your success on Instagram because you're going to be modeling people who are already successful on the platform. And as you can probably guess or know, that is just the fastest straight line to success. So what I would recommend you do is come into the Discovery tab of Instagram, type in your keyword or any top profile on Instagram that you may be already aware of, and go in there, and from that one account you can find 4 other accounts to follow, and then that information and their information is going to appear in your newsfeed, and so you're going to be constantly updated with whatever posts they pop out. That's going to be in your newsfeed, and that's a great way for you to track those top accounts just by coming into the home section. So go ahead now and follow 5 accounts on Instagram. This is the quickest way that you're going to accelerate your success, because it'll tell you how to lay out your account and the exact type of content that you should be posting to get engagement as well. In this video, you're going to learn how to add a profile image to your Instagram account that's going to attract your audience. So what I'd recommend you do is you click in and open up the top influencers that you have already added to your accounts. And it's in here that you can see the profile images that they are using. Now for this example account, I'm just creating an account where I'm the face of my business and I may be a personal finance planner. So what I can see here is that because it's more of an account where I'm the face of my business and I've followed these top influencers, they're all using personal profile images. And if I scan down through these 5 accounts, personally, the one that grabs my attention the most is this one at the bottom, Dave Ramsey here. And I think he's done a couple of things particularly well in this photo, which I wanted to point out because these are best practices that you should use for yourself. So the first thing is that here, he has got a very clear background. It's a bright color. So it really does, his face really pops off the page. Also, the picture is very close in terms of it's cropped quite close. So we really get a good picture of his face. He's also, I think, dressed in an appropriate way that's going to appeal to his audience. So if we read his bio here, it says America's trusted voice on money. So obviously trust is very important, being an authority. And you can see he's wearing a suit and a shirt and he's got glasses on. So he looks smart. He's kind of an older guy. And so this is kind of a perfect profile image, which I think would really attract his audience, because they would see him as an authority, and it's obviously a professional photo. It's easy to recognize him, and it kind of suits the type. He's wearing the type of thing that his audience would expect. If he was in his gym clothes, well, it wouldn't be obvious that we're talking really about business and money. So that is a great example of someone doing it really well. Let's have a look at some of these other guys. We can look at Tim Ferriss here. Now, I think personally, for me, you can see that he's quite a bit of a distance back from the camera. He's pointing to his t-shirt, which I don't understand what that's about. And it's also just hard to recognize him. The background of that image is obviously him standing in maybe a house or something like that. I don't really know what's going on there. So you can see it doesn't pop off the page as much. Now in his profile page here, it's probably still recognizable as him. But if we go to a kind of an individual post, you can see he appears much smaller at the top of the page. So it's much harder to recognize that as him. And so that's really the difference between the two that we've seen there. And maybe he could improve that a lot by just following more similar to what Dave Ramsey is doing here. A much closer shot of the face and maybe a clear background that really pops off. Obviously, he doesn't have to be in a suit if that's not what is really going to attract his audience and what his audience expects to see. Now, there's some other ones here. You can see that Gary Vaynerchuk, this is a picture of him in the front of a magazine, which is quite a clever use of it, gives him some social proof. But again, I can't really read any of that, and maybe just a closer picture of the face would be better. So in terms of your personal profile picture, again, to recap, some of the best practices: keep that shot of the face pretty close. I wouldn't bother putting any text in there. Try and have a clear background if you can, and dress appropriately to what your audience would expect. Now, it doesn't have to be business clothes. If you're into fitness, you could be in your fitness clothes or whatever. So that is a personal profile picture, and always have a look at top influencers in your niche to really understand what they're doing. Now let's have a look at some actual business accounts. So I want to show you a company here called HubSpot. and I think they've done it quite well. You can see actually they've got a number of accounts on Instagram here, and what they've done is they just have one background color and then a color for their logo. So only 2 colors, and I'd recommend you follow that as well. And then also you can see there's no text in there. It's very simple. Even if we click in to look at one of their posts, in the top left hand corner here, it's still instantly recognizable as them, and it really pops off the page. Now I want to show you another account that maybe isn't done as well, just so you have that comparison again. So this company, Tents Tile, actually pretty interesting company. They kind of have these tents that you tie up. So pretty cool e-commerce company. But you can see their logo here. It is 2 colors, but it's black and white. And they have text on it also. And that looks okay on their profile page. But then when we come into one of their posts, you can see it's black on white, so it doesn't really pop off the page in the top left hand corner, and also that text becomes unreadable then. There's no real need to include any text because the name of the account is right there. So my opinion would be for them to change that logo, maybe have an orange on white, and just keep that kind of image, remove the text, and I think that would pop off a lot more on the page, be more recognizable when people see these type of posts in their newsfeed. So for a business account as well, there are those best practices. And if you want to come back and have a look at a good example, HubSpot, you can see that they've done it well. There's no text, just one color, and they've used bright colors to make sure it really pops off the white background that is on Instagram. So once you have decided what profile picture you want to use, to actually add the profile picture, you want to come in, click on Settings, the top right hand corner, Edit Profile, and then you can change your profile image. Now you have the option here to import it from Facebook, Twitter, etc., or choose from your library, which I'm going to do. Now I've got a picture that I've uploaded to my phone before, and this is as I've kind of recommended, just 2 simple colors, and just using this for a setup demo account. And I think that looks pretty good. I can click done, and I just need to confirm my email, which I'll do now. And then I can just click done. So if we come back to my profile, you can see now the profile image is loaded up. I think it really does pop off the page. Got a bright color background, and that is how you really add a profile image to your Instagram account. So now it's your turn. Go ahead and add either a personal profile picture or a business logo to your Instagram account, following the steps and best practices that you've learned in this video. In this video, you're going to learn how to optimize your Instagram bio and add call to action buttons. And this is probably the most important thing that you can do to drive website traffic and sales directly from Instagram. So what I want to do is bring you through a couple of different examples, different types of businesses, show how they're using this Instagram bio and call to action buttons, and then I'll show you the practical steps to change it for yourself. So let's get started looking at this Instagram account of Dave Ramsey. Obviously this is kind of a personal business Instagram account, and you can see in his bio here he has a little icon saying pointing down, and then create your free every dollar budget, another icon, and then there is a link off here, and if we click this open, we can see that this opens up, and this is actually an app that he has created, and it's really a link to download it. Now notice the way there he said create your free every dollar budget. He didn't just say download my app. So that's an important thing to do, that in your bio you want to show the benefit for people to really click through, and that's a great example of that. He's also used some icons creatively to catch some attention there, but most importantly, that call to action in the bio here is really relevant to his audience. This guy is a kind of helps people get out of debt and become financially independent. So a free budget is exactly what his type of audience would be looking for. So that's important to keep in mind when you create your own bio, that it really has to appeal to your audience. And that's why it's a good idea to come in and take a look at some of those top performing competitors or influencers in your niche. So you can really see how they're using this. Now below his bio on that link, you can see that he's included an option for people to call, email, and then get directions as well. Now I'm not sure why he's included directions if he's kind of a personal profile, but those are the three options you can include. Maybe he just wants to take advantage of everything that you can. So you can include call, email, and directions if you want. Let us now go and look at another example to see how they're using their Instagram bio and call to action buttons to drive website traffic and generate sales. So let's go and look at a local business. So Giuliana's Pizza, you can see this is a Brooklyn-based pizzeria co-founded by legendary pizza maker Patsy Grimaldi. No gimmicks, just great New York style pizza. And you can see that they've included there a link to their website and just their location as well. So it's really clear, people can see the exact address in the bio. And that is a great idea for a local business because people might be following here and they say, oh, let's go check out that Giuliana's Pizza place. They can see the address there without even needing to click that directions button, but they could click this and this should open up and they can see exactly where it is there. And you can also call there if you want to make a booking directly. So as you can see, this is an extremely useful use of the bio and the call to action buttons in order to really get customers in the door. Let's have a look at one more example. And we'll come and look at an e-commerce company, Tensile. So you can see take your camping to the next level. So this really again appeals to their audience, which is just taking their camping to the next level. So they're kind of targeting people who are already camping, but they just want to take it to the next level. There's a lot going on in that sentence. And then we plant 18 trees for each 10 sold. So another incentive to go ahead and buy, because it's not just that you get the product, but that you're helping the earth. And that again appeals to their audience. 155,000 trees so far. So again, using the icons to kind of bring that to life. Winter sale now on, 20% off. So that is a great use of the bio as well for an e-commerce store. They're showing who their audience is by take your camping to the next level, that incentive to plant trees, how many trees they've done so far, and there's 20% off. So that gives me a good incentive to click that link and to go ahead and buy, and obviously I can call an email as well there. So those are three examples of how companies are using this Instagram bio. It is by far the best way to drive website traffic or to generate sales for your business. And the practical steps to adjusting this are very, very simple. So I'm going to come back into my demo account, click on the gear icon up here. You can see edit profile. So I can add in my website. I'm just going to put this in so you can see what this looks like and how easy it is. And then bio, I can just put in bio there. I can adjust the contact options if I want to input that phone and address, especially if I was a local business. And then I can go ahead and click save or done. Come back to my profile and you can see that that is being updated there. So what I recommend you do is go have a look at some top influencers or types of companies in your niche that are doing it well. You know, have a look at 3 or 4, take some ideas from their bios and put it into practice and optimize your Instagram bio and those call to action buttons so that you can drive website traffic and generate sales from Instagram. It's probably the number one thing you can do if that is your goal. So go ahead and do that for yourself. In this video, you're going to learn how to design an original piece of content for Instagram for free that you can then go ahead and share directly on Instagram. So this is something that you really do want to learn how to do if you want to create your own content or content for clients or companies. It's basic design skills, but it's going to allow you to produce a lot of original content. So how to get started? I'll walk you through the exact steps of how to create this design from scratch. So what you want to firstly do is go ahead and open up your browser and download the Canva app. Now Canva is essentially Photoshop for dummies. It's free, it's so simple to use. And the cool thing is that you can design on your phone and then share directly from Instagram. They do also have a desktop version, so that's pretty cool as well, because if you're more comfortable designing on your desktop, then you can just take the design from the app and then share it directly. So you have that choice as well to design on your desktop and then just share via the app on Instagram. But in this example, I'll show you how to actually create a design in the app. So I've downloaded the Canva app. I'm going to open that up. And then you can see here that they have templates under the Instagram section. And what you can do is create really any type of design. They have a ton of templates here. But what I've done here is what's going to come up is a load of templates like this. And some of these are popular now. You can see 2018, etc. What I'm going to do is type in quotes. And that is going to bring up all the templates for quotes. Now you can search around for other ones as well if you want, product promotions, etc. But for now, I'll just look at this quotes one. So here is the template that I can easily use and modify. And you can see this is in the format that I want. Oscar Wilde here, to live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. Okay, great quote from Oscar Wilde, but I want to adapt this template slightly and design the design that I showed you previously. So the first thing that I'll go and do is change the image. So I can just tap on the image. It's going to bring up my camera roll. I could also take, you can see my camera here, my hand waving. I could take a picture if I wanted, but I've already got this picture on my camera roll, which I'm going to just click on, and you can see it inserts right in. So simple, so easy. Now I want to change the quote because obviously this guy is not Oscar Wilde. So if I double click on the text, and now I can say, type in the quote. So I've typed in the quote there, don't wish it were easy, wish you were better. I think great advice. So I've changed the text. I can say done. Now I'm going to resize that text as well because you can see I've got a little bit of space. So I am going to double click on this. And I'm going to change this to size 56. I think that should fit in. There we go. And then I can click done. Then I want to change the author's name as well. So I'll double click on that. Now I will say that it takes a little bit of getting used to. Maybe the first time that you design something, it mightn't be so simple. But after a while, you're really going to get the hang of this and make it really easy for yourself. So that's pretty much my design. It's pretty much already done. I'm happy with the positioning. I think it all looks great. Now a good idea before you go to publish is maybe just reread it, make sure there's no mistakes. I can actually see that I've made a mistake here. So I wanted to say don't wish it were easy. Wish you were better. Now I'll have to reposition that. Text underneath, drag it off there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now what I can do is just click on the image once again. Then I'm going to click on this button on the top right hand corner. You can see it's like a little share button. That's really going to finalize my design, save it, and it'll enable me then to share it, which I can go ahead and do. Click import to Instagram. And what I can do now is publish directly to my feed. I just don't need to crop it, so I can just click next. You can add a filter if you want. I actually might apply this filter, gingham, just to make it look maybe slightly older, slightly more wisdom. And then click next. You can see that I can tag people, add a location if I want to, write a caption. And for now, I'll just click share. And there we go. You can see this is how it is going to show up in people's feed. So I think it looks great. It looks professional. And then if I come back to my account, you can see it showing up there as well. So you can see that took me less than 5 minutes. It was completely free to do, and it's very easy to do from your phone as well. Remember that you have this app Canva with a ton of templates in there. So what I recommend you do is go ahead, download the Canva app, try out some of these Instagram templates for yourself, and start creating original content for Instagram completely free. It's just your imagination is the only thing holding you back. There's so many things you can do, and you can even look at content that your competitors are doing and put a slight twist on it and publish it yourself as original content using Canva and this free incredible tool that you can use to create content. In this video, you're going to learn a very quick and simple way that you can repost other people's content on Instagram. Now, reposting content like the image that you can see on screen here is not only a way to really get free content to publish on Instagram, but it's also a way to connect with other Instagram accounts. So for example, on screen here, you can see Dave Ramsey has reposted an image from another account, Jenny Eats Donuts, and you know that this is reposted because it's showing it in the bottom left hand corner of the image. And also in the comments below here, you can see hashtag repost. So Dave Ramsey has added a comment on top of the original comment, which you can see is down here. And it's a great way, you can see it's got 15,000 likes. And it's a great way to maybe highlight someone in your audience who's doing really well, who's hit a goal like this that you're trying to encourage other people to do. Or just somebody that's in your space or in a similar account that's doing something really cool that you want to share with your audience. So just a fantastic way to solve the content problem on Instagram. What do you post? And also just make connections as well. Instagram is all about engaging with people. So if you want to repost other people's content like this very easily, well, then you want to go into your browser and you want to go ahead and download Repost for Instagram. This is a separate app that will allow you to repost just like that example that I showed you. So you can see it's on the left-hand corner here. It's got 40,000 reviews and it's absolutely free as well. Once you've got that downloaded, then you just want to open up the Repost app and you can see that you can click into Instagram. And what you want to do here is really go ahead and look for any posts that you might want to repost. So let's just come into this account, Gary V. And maybe let's think about if I wanted to repost this as an example. I click on the top right hand corner, the three dots here. I'd copy the link and you can see that that link has been copied to the clipboard inside the Repost for Instagram app. So what I can do is come back to the Repost for Instagram. I can see it's been copied there. Now I want to go ahead and repost that. And you can see now that I've got the image with the little repost symbol and the account holder's name in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. So now I can go ahead and click repost. And it's going to show you how to paste the caption. So this is great as well. Saves you typing out the caption that they originally had. And I'll show you how to do this. You just literally hold down and click paste. It's actually copied in the clipboard as well as the image. Really just takes out a couple of great steps. That's why this app is so cool. So I got that. Now I want to share it to Instagram. It's going to open up. I can share it in my story and my feed as usual. And then I can crop the photo if I need to. Just click next. I can select a filter if I want to. Click next. And here is where we write the caption. So what I can do is just hold down my finger. And you can see now if I click paste, that is going to be the original comment from Gary V. And you can see it even says repost. And it mentions the app there as well. So what I can do is go ahead and add in my own comments if you wanted to, and you can put in your comments as well, and then you just click OK, and then you click share, and now that has been shared out or reposted on my account. You can see it's coming up under my name. You can see it says the image there, repost Gary V, And then you can see my comment, or if I'd put in a bigger comment, it would have appeared there. And then the original comments underneath. So that's a great way that I can share something I think is interesting from other accounts on Instagram with my audience. That's valuable content for them. Also, it takes a couple of minutes, a lot easier than creating your own content maybe. And also, I may be able to start to form a conversation or a relationship with this big account. Now, this particular guy is quite a big account, but you can do it with maybe smaller accounts and make those connections and start those conversations a lot quicker. Now, if I come back to my profile, you can see that that's now on my account as well. So that is how you repost on Instagram very quickly and easily. The key to it all is this repost for Instagram app, which is absolutely free, and you can go ahead and download it. It really makes the process a lot easier. So I hope you enjoy that and make good use of it. In this video, you're going to learn how to get your first followers on Instagram. It's a pretty cool strategy, and I'm going to tell you about it just in a second. But before we get into that, I do want to answer a common question that does come up is, can't I just buy my Instagram followers to get some social proof just when I'm getting started? And yes, of course you can. You can go to Chrome or your browser, type in buy Instagram followers. You can see they look great, like a great ad, and you can get them for $7.99 or for whatever you want. Now, the reason that I wouldn't recommend you do this is, number one, numbers aren't really important on Instagram. It's not about the number of followers. It's really more about the engagement that you have on each post. So if you look at some top accounts, it's not really the number of followers that is important. It's really the engagement that those posts get. That's the real signal that people are engaging with your content. So if you buy a load of followers and they don't actually engage with your content, then they're basically worthless. Now, the other reason you don't want to just buy a load of followers is because that's going to mess up your analytics later on. It's not going to give you a clear indication of the age, the demographic of your audience, and that can cause problems then for just understanding who your audience are, or if you want to retarget your Instagram audience with a Facebook ad, etc. It just messes up everything. So it's really not worth doing, although those advertisements online, etc. look quite attractive, and it looks like a pretty good shortcut. So I would advise not to buy Instagram ad followers. That would be my advice. So how do you get them then for free, and that are going to be real people in a targeted way that are going to actually want to visit your website or buy your product or service? Well, the first thing you want to do is find those big accounts that have the audience that you want to really engage with. And just for example, I'm just going to open up this account here. This guy is kind of helps people get out of debt. He's essentially a financial planner, but he has his own app, etc. that does that. Now, if I wanted to funnel his audience back to my Instagram account, this is what I would do. I would start to come into each post and I would start to look at the comments. And what I would do is start to actually go ahead and start to follow the people who have engaged with the content. Now, I can go ahead and follow those people, and then they're going to get a notification on their account that I followed them. Now, once they get that notification, they're probably going to want to check out, well, who is this person who followed me? And then they're going to click through to my profile here. And if I have a good bio, if I have a good profile picture, if I have maybe 3 to 5 posts that show the type of content that I'm putting out, and if that's relevant to them, and it should be, if I'm funneling them from a similar top account on Instagram, then they're going to go ahead and follow me back. So that is a very simple way to get real, genuine followers. It is a bit manual, but I can guarantee you it's just going to help you understand, even by going through these influencers' accounts, like what is the type of content that gets so much engagement. So let me come back to some of those top accounts. So if I was trying to do something similar to Tim Ferriss, by going through each post, I'm going to notice which ones are the ones that get the most amount of engagement. So that's the first thing I'm learning by doing this. Then I'm not just copying his followers or automating a tool to do that. I'm actually following the most engaged part of his audience on Instagram, which are the people that are actually commenting. And then I'm going to either follow them directly or just go ahead and reply and start to engage with them. And slowly over time then, a ton of his audience are just going to funnel back and start following my account. And if there was 3 to 5 top accounts like this that had a similar audience to mine, this is just something I could do every single day. Maybe take half an hour, follow maximum maybe 50 people in that half an hour, and then you're just going to slowly build up your account. Not only are you going to get the followers, you're going to get really engaged followers, and also in the process you're going to learn what is the content that really gets these top accounts so much engagement, and you're going to learn that through this process as well. So that is how you get your first followers on Instagram. Identify those top influencers accounts, follow the people who are engaging with their content, reply to them, and then they're going to funnel back and start following your account because they're going to see that notification that you followed them. They're going to check out your profile. And what is really important before you even start this whole process off is that you've optimized your bio, your profile picture, your call to action buttons, and that you've got at least 3 to 5 posts that they can see, okay, well, this is a valuable account, it's active, it has good content, and I'm going to follow and keep updated with them. So go ahead and use that strategy to get your first Instagram followers. Funnel them really from the top accounts. That's really what it sums up to. In this video, you're going to learn how to use hashtags to increase the visibility of your posts. Now, hashtags are essentially just a way to tell Instagram what your content is about, and with that, they can group content together. And one of the cool new features about Instagram is that you can actually now follow hashtags. So for example, on screen, you can see hashtag motivation. You can see how many posts that applies to, 127 million. And I have the opportunity to follow that. So this is a great way as an owner, a business owner, a personal brand to increase your visibility, because if I use the hashtag motivation, well then I have the opportunity to appear in front of all those people who are following that hashtag, who were just searching for that hashtag. So what I would recommend you do to get started to understand what hashtags you can use to increase your visibility is to come into the Discovery tab on Instagram. By default, it's going to be on the top tab here, but you want to come across to tabs, and then you want to type in a hashtag that you think could be related to your business. So something like motivation, for example. We can just type that in. Now the cool thing is that when you type in one hashtag, just like accounts itself, you can see related accounts or related hashtags. So we've got motivation, we can see determination, hard work, discipline, results. So what I would start to do is write down these hashtags, and if I was creating content similar to what I can see here and that I think would be appropriate, I can start to note those down. Now another way to find the appropriate hashtags that are going to get visibility for your posts is to come in and have a look at some of those top accounts in your niche and have a look at the hashtags that they are using. So if I come into a post here, we can see that doesn't seem to be a hashtags on that, but I'll come into this one. So we can see here debt-free journey, debt-free community, no mortgage, debt is dumb. And if I click into any of these, I can see how popular these hashtags are. So 83,000 posts. Before we saw motivation, 127 million. So that is extremely popular. It might be hard to catch the attention of people following the motivation hashtag because there's probably a lot of competition. But you can see this hashtag debt-free journey is much less competition on it in terms of only 83,000 posts. So anybody following this hashtag, if I use it, I have a much better chance of them seeing my post. So I would recommend for your own posts, you want to use maybe 20 hashtags, 10 which are big like that, motivation, etc. And maybe 10 that are very niche specific, like debt-free journey, debt is dumb, no mortgage, etc. And a good way to come in and find out New Year's goals, debt-free. So you can see debt-free seems to be a pretty big one. Yeah, 500,000 posts. So you can use maybe those bit high volume, medium, or really niche, or you can break them up. But in total, you want to be using about 20. So let me show you actually how to input hashtags. So what we can see here is I've got a piece of content that I've already uploaded, and then I can actually edit this, and then I can write a caption. Now, when you upload a new piece of content, you're going to see this same option to write a caption, and this is when I recommend you put in your hashtags right when before you post, not like an hour or two after you posted. So always include your hashtags before you actually hit the publish button. And if I go ahead and start to include some of those hashtags I saw, so motivation, maybe a really high volume one, we can put in something like results. We can see also a very popular one. Something that we could do, this is kind of an older quote. So we could say Throwback Thursday. This is a very popular hashtag, TBT, Throwback Thursday. You can see there. And that's kind of appropriate because this is a bit of an older quote. And if I was posting this on a Thursday, then that would make sense. It's actually a Wednesday today. But you can see that you can include those themed hashtags that happen on Instagram on a kind of weekly basis. So what else could I put in there? Maybe hashtag learning. Let's see how popular that one is. Learning is fun. Learning. So you can see you can just keep including those there as you want. Now one cool thing is you can also look at this website. You can type top hashtags on Instagram. And if we come down, there's a pretty cool list here at top-hashtags.com. And this can also give you some ideas about what hashtags to use. So love, fashion, beauty, happy, cute. You can see that TBT, Throwback Thursday, very popular. You can see friends, repost, style, travel, fitness, no filter, amazing Instagram, beach, swag, motivation. You can see number 61. So those are the 3 ways that you can identify the hashtags to use. Number 1, use that discovery search bar and have a look at those related hashtags. You can also come into the top influencer accounts and see what really are the hashtags that they are using that could be very niche specific for you. And you can also look at the top hashtags on Instagram if you want to find those really top hashtags that you can include. And remember, the key to this and the reason that this gets you more visibility is because people search for hashtags or they even follow hashtags on Instagram. And so this is an incredible strategy that you can use to increase the visibility of your posts just by including these simple hashtags and maybe taking a minute or two to do that before you post your content. In this video, you're going to learn what Instagram stories are and how you can use them to grow your business on Instagram. So firstly, let me show you where they show up on Instagram. If you come to the home screen here, you can see across the top, I can see the stories for the accounts that I'm following. Also, if I come into this discovery tab, I can see across the top some stories from some of the top accounts on Instagram that Instagram think I might be interested in. Also, if I come in to the accounts that I'm following, and I can see in their profile, there'll be a small ring around their profile image, and it's in here. I can look at really these stories as well. So those are kind of the 3 main places they pop up. Now here's an interesting thing about stories. You can see that in here, there's actually a link where I can send people off to a site. And you can see that Gary Vaynerchuk here is really pre-selling his new book. And that is a great way to use stories. Now there is a caveat for that. You need to have over 10,000 followers in order to be able to add a link like that. But it is a very effective way to drive traffic. You can see there he's encouraging people to follow an account. He's encouraging people to listen to a podcast that he was on. And I think that brings us off to the App Store. So I might just go back. But you can see inside these Instagram stories, there's quite a lot of call to actions. Listen to the podcast, follow this account, pre-buy my book. And that is something you maybe not want to do on your normal posts that are going to appear on your account. Because the key thing about Instagram stories is that they're only viewable for 24 hours. And that means that the quality of the content can be a little bit less. So if you have content that you don't think you can put on your profile, maybe even the image quality or video quality is lower, you can put it in your stories because it's still content that's good. And because it's only available for 24 hours, people expect it to be a little less polished than what you might normally find on the profile images or the feed underneath here. So you can use it to sell, you can use it to publish lower quality images, you can use it to do kind of behind the scenes stuff. So let's go up to some of the top stories here. This is P. Diddy, famous kind of singer. And you can see it's kind of behind the scenes look here. And as well, what you'll see is there's quite a few stories in the 124-hour slot. So this is him kind of behind the scenes. And why people like these stories is because it shows maybe people in action more as humans. It's not just a staged photo that's very polished and maybe photoshopped. It allows people to have that more human connection with an individual, or even for a company, the people working in that company. What's going on behind the scenes? How do they manage things? What does their office look like? What do their employees look like? People are interested in those things. So you can see this is just kind of pretty natural stuff going on, and people are interested in this as well. So the key thing to note is that Instagram stories are not essential. You don't have to use this feature on Instagram at all if you don't want to. And if I come into some of the other accounts that I'm following here, just as an example, you can see Richard Branson. There's no ring around his profile image there. Doesn't look like he uses stories at all. Or maybe just not right now. Tim Ferriss. Doesn't look like there's any stories there either. And in fact, only about 30% of Instagram users use Instagram stories. So that's the kind of interesting thing. Instagram stories are essentially a social network within a social network. About 250 million people do use them, but that's only about 30% of Instagram's total user base. So it is a new feature, and in fact, Instagram just stole it from Snapchat. It's an interesting backstory, actually, that Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook, who owns Instagram, tried to buy Snapchat twice, and when they were rebuffed or refused, they just decided to kind of steal the main feature of Snapchat and put it into Instagram. And that has actually stopped a lot of people from setting up an Instagram account, because the main differentiator then was available in Instagram here. So that's kind of a little bit of the history of it. Now let me show you how to actually add a story for yourself, or how to publish one. So what you can do is come into your profile here, and you can see next to your profile image, there's a little plus button. And what you can do is just take a new video or a picture, or even look at your videos or images taken in the last 24 hours. So you can only post those videos and images in the last 24 hours. So what you can do is just select the image, and there's a ton of features in here that make it that bit more casual. Like you can kind of write on top of images. I can then, if I'm happy with that, I can add that to my story. And you can see now there's that circle across the top of my profile icon. Now if I want to, throughout the day, add more videos, or images to my story, what I can do is click on my story, click on the plus image in the top right hand corner again. And for example, I could add a video, and there's all sorts of features in here: super zoom, rewind, hands-free, stop motion, a lot of quite creative features that can make it pretty interesting. So I'll just take a boomerang image here so you can see. And there you can see this kind of boomerang feature. You've probably seen this before, and really that's how you set it up. So if I'm happy with that, then I can just add that to my story once again. And so throughout the day, you can be adding these videos or images that kind of give that behind the scenes look. If I come into my story once again, I can see that there's my kind of boomerang video. And I can see my Merry Christmas thing as well. And then I can see it going into the video there. So that's really how you can add your own content, use some of those features like writing on images, the boomerang videos, and there's just a ton of tools in there for you to get creative. So I would recommend you come in, look at some of those top influencers, see how they're using them. Remember that unfortunately, if you're just getting started, you won't be able to link off to your website out of stories until you have 10,000 followers. But it is a fantastic way to drive traffic and another incentive for you to really build up your audience so you can open up that feature within Instagram stories. So now that you know what Instagram stories are, how to use them, where they appear, and how to add content, go ahead and create an Instagram story for yourself, following the steps that you've learned in this video. In this video, you're going to learn a simple trick to get more followers on Instagram. It's absolutely free to do, and it will only take a minute to get set up. So what you want to do is really come onto your desktop. You can see I'm recording this on my desktop here. This is something that you'll do on your desktop in your browser rather than on your phone or inside of the Instagram app. So get set up on your computer, and then you want to come and go to everliker.com. Now what this is a free auto like bot for Instagram. It's a very simple way to get more likes and follows. Now I'll explain exactly how it works, but what you want to do when you get here is just to add it to Chrome. So this is a Chrome browser plugin. If you're not using Chrome, you can go ahead and download it for free. Just type in download Chrome. Once you have downloaded Chrome and installed the plugin, it's going to open up like this when you're logged into your Instagram account. And what you want to do then is add a task. Now, there is a paid version of this tool, but if we click on the drop down here, we can like by tags or hashtags for free. And then there are options there to like, by location, feed, and followers. But for this example, we just want to stick to the free version, you can like by tags. So what you really want to do, and the purpose of this, is that you can set up this automated system so that you like posts that have the hashtags that relate to your niche in them, and you can do up to 700 per day for free. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you start to like those posts with those specific hashtags, then people are going to say, oh, who's this guy Dara who's been liking my posts? They might funnel back to my Instagram account. If I've got my nice bio, everything written out, I've got some good interesting posts there, well then they're very likely to follow me because they go, okay, here's a guy that's talking exactly about what I've just posted about, and this is somebody that I really want to connect with because we're talking about similar things. So the key thing is, for this strategy to work, you need to be quite specific about the tags or the hashtags that you put in here. Now you can see here they give you a couple of examples, but you might want to get a little bit more specific than that. So what you can do to get ideas for those hashtags is maybe come in and look at top influencers' accounts, maybe somebody who has the type of audience that you want to build up on Instagram, and you can look at some of their recent posts and have a look through the hashtags there. So for example, this guy Dave Ramsey, he helps people get out of debt. It's quite a specific niche thing, And you can see one of the hashtags that they're using is debt free. So what I can do after looking around at some influencers, etc., is I can just go back and open up the Everliker extension. I can put in my hashtags. You can put in more than one if you want. And then I'm just going to click save, and then I can just get it to start running. Now you can see that it's going to say likes since midnight. That's building up kind of quickly there. And you can really test that out then. Did you get a lot of new followers by using that one keyword? Do you need to maybe optimize your profile a little bit more? Or do you need to switch up the hashtags that you are using in what's really working best? So it is a fantastic tool, but remember, you're going to have to put a little bit of thought in terms of those hashtags in there to really determine who are you trying to target, and you can test a couple of different hashtags out there. So everliker.com, go and check that out. It's absolutely free, and it's a fantastic way to get a lot of people viewing your Instagram account, and that will help you get more likes on your posts and also get you a lot of followers in a very automated way. So check that out, everliker.com. It's a simple trick that can get you a lot of Instagram followers. In this video, you are going to learn how to get reposted by top accounts on Instagram. And this is probably the #1 strategy that you can use if you are brand new to Instagram, you've no audience, and you've no audience outside of Instagram either. So this will help you get in front of a big audience. Very simple strategy, but very, very effective. And let me give you a couple of examples to bring this to life. So I'm just going to show you quite a simple example of this from Tim Ferriss's account. So he's an author, and you can see that he has a post here, and this is actually a repost. You can see that he's said that in the comment of the image, and he's actually mentioned the original poster, which in this case is JD Purr. So if I click through, I can see here from Jane Macaulay that this was her original post, same image, and all she said is I love the holidays, and she's hashtag Tim Ferriss, hashtag tribe of mentors. So why would Tim Ferriss repost this? Well, because it's essentially a mini testimonial. It's somebody who is enjoying their products. You see, I love the holidays. That's kind of a perfect post for Christmas time. It's a subtle way for Tim to remind his audience that the book is out and that they can get it for Christmas. So essentially, if you want to get reposted by big accounts, you've got to give them a post that is going to make them look good, that reminds people to buy their products, their services. That's essentially a mini testimonial. Essentially where you're going to be the poster boy for them that they can then reshare out. Now in this case here, I don't think Jade Macaulay kind of uses strategically. You can just see this is a personal account. But if you're even a business account or you have a personal brand that you want to grow, what you can do is identify top accounts in your niche and say something good about their product or service, their book, their course, whatever it can be, so then they have the opportunity to repost it. So that was one example there. You can see Tim Ferriss is an author, he has a book. So anybody who says something good about it, he's probably going to repost it. And even if I look down here, you can see that he's reposted somebody else, which is the Christmas tree in the books. Again, a great way for him to remind his audience to buy the book for Christmas. And so what you can do is even look at these top accounts, look at the types of posts that they have reposted before. And if you wanted to get in front of them, you could create a post similar to that. And you could just make sure that you put in the hashtags or whatever that get their attention, that they'll be monitoring on their notifications or other way. Now let me give you another example of this just to make it really clear again. So here's another account, this guy Dave Ramsey. And you can see here that this is another repost. So they say debt paid off $61,000 in 2017. Now that is a great achievement. Obviously, that is something that was a result of the work that this guy does. He's a kind of a helps people get out of debt. This is a success story, a case study, someone who is a poster boy for what he's trying to do and encourage his audience to do. So, of course, he's going to share that out. This is exactly the outcome that he is trying to get his audience to. So this builds his authority. It also shows that his products, his services work, etc. And so, of course, he is going to repost that. So if you wanted to get the attention of this guy, Dave Ramsey, and get reposted, well, then you create a success story from his products or services. Make sure you tag him or include the hashtags. And then there's a good chance that he is going to repost that out. Now you can see that's the original post there. And you can see that they said, we were happy that we were able to continue our debt-free journey with shipping awaited. Hope it will be done in a couple of years. And you can see down below then that they have actually tagged that big top influencer account, Dave Ramsey. So that was kind of two examples there of maybe an online influencer. I'll show you another example of this because it really does work for whatever type of product or service you have. This is an e-commerce product. It's kind of camping, a tent that's up off the ground. Looks pretty cool, to be honest. And you can see here is a picture of their product in action that one of their customers took. And the way that we know this is because you can see PC photo credit, camping in tents. Now, I think this is an example of someone using it quite strategically. Now, we can see that this tent style is 186,000 followers. We can see that this got 2,832 likes. So that got quite a lot of engagement. And you can see the photo credit going back to the original account, which if we look here, I'm guessing has a much smaller audience, 447 followers. So this is the perfect example of a much smaller account getting the attention of a massive account by really showing their products in a positive way. So if we come back to the original post here, we might have to scroll down and find this. Here we go. This is the original post. And they're saying, check out this setup. Spread the word. They put in even the link to the company account. They plant a tree while you're at it. So it's a customer really spreading the message positively. And you can see that they have even shown where it is, Wick Park, Tree Snow Hammock. So it's kind of like a pretty interesting way that they've shown the product. And essentially, again, it's a success story. It's a testimonial, a visual testimonial of the product. And as a result, that much bigger account is going to share that out. And the benefit for this smaller account is that it puts them in front of the big account's audience. So if you want to use this to grow your own Instagram account, what you need to do is firstly, identify those big accounts that you want to get in front of. Now you could be following those. They're going to be slightly different for any type of business that you're in. And once you've identified them, what you want to do is think about how you can create a success story, a mini testimonial that will catch their attention and that they are going to want to share out. Now you can do this over and over and over again. It is a fantastic way to grow your Instagram account by simply being reposted by top Instagram accounts. So go ahead and use that for yourself, use it for your clients, use it for your companies. It's one of the fastest ways that you can grow on Instagram. In this video, you are going to learn a couple of tips and tricks to reduce the spam on your Instagram account. So the first thing that you can actually do is turn off comments altogether when you do post on Instagram. So I'm just going to walk you through the steps of, say, adding a picture here. Just going to go next, skip the filters. And then down here in advanced settings, you can see you do have the option to turn off commenting altogether. And as it says here, you can actually, beside the post, turn that back on if you want later on. But that option is there just to turn off commenting altogether if it might be a controversial post, or you are just tired of the comments for a little while. That option is there. That's a pretty new feature, so it's good to know that that exists. Now, let me come back, cancel that upload, and now we're going to go into the settings for your Instagram account, and this is where you can adjust the settings not just for an individual post, but across your whole account. So firstly, what you can do is adjust the settings for your stories if you want as well. You can allow or disallow messages. So right now, when you post a story, or when I post a story, anybody can message me right back. You can change that to just people I follow, or I can turn that off completely. And probably initially, if you're just getting started on Instagram, you'd be delighted to get a message from a story, but after a while it could become a little bit overwhelming, so you can allow to turn that off as well. So that's a pretty handy feature to have as well, and there's some other things there you can allow sharing, etc. Now, coming away from stories, coming into just your normal posts, if we come down here to the commenting section, you can see that this is the place where you can really set up some filters. So comments with certain keywords can be filtered out, and you can actually block certain people as well here. So you can allow comments from everybody by default, or just people you follow and your followers, people you follow or your followers. So you can adjust those settings if you want. You can also block comments from certain people. If you've noticed kind of a couple of abusive people, you can just type in their name there. As it says here, they won't be notified when you block them, and any new comments that they make on your posts won't be visible to anyone but them. So they won't really be aware that their comments are not being viewed by everybody, but essentially that allows you to remove them if there's someone who's kind of getting abusive on Instagram. Now, coming on down here, you can see that by default there is a filter to hide offensive comments. But you can also get more specific if you want and enable a manual filter where you can put in keywords or phrases that you want to be filtered out from the comments automatically. And you can just come in here, maybe add one, and then add another one separated by a comma. And then all of those comments are going to be filtered out. So that saves you coming in, after each time you post and filtering them out. You can just set up these filters to automate the process for you. So once again, there is a lot of great ways to reduce spam or messages in general or comments just on Instagram. You can do it when you post, or you can come in and do it on your profile settings or your Instagram settings as well. So take a look, it's very handy. Again, it can save you a lot of time and keep your Instagram account family friendly. If you want to grow your Instagram account, then one of the best things that you can do is on a weekly basis come in and review your Instagram analytics. And to access your Instagram analytics, just click the little analytics icon beside your account name. And this is going to bring you right into the analytics dashboard. Now, it is fairly basic, but this is probably all of the information you really need in order to make decisions to grow. You can see the number of followers you've got in the last 7 days, and the number of posts that you made. And really, this analytics information is going to just be shown for the most part on the last 7 days. Now you can see also the number of impressions, the number of times your post has been seen, impressions, the number reached, the number of accounts that it's been seen by, the number of profile views, how many people have viewed your profile, the number of clicks on those call to action buttons on your underneath your bio. I'll need to get 100 followers before I can see my demographic information, but that'll be things like the name or the age, the sex and the location of my followers. I can also see in terms of my posts, all of them for the last year sorted by impressions. And so this can be a great place to come in and look at and say, okay, well, I've made 6 posts this week. Which was the one that got the most impressions? And maybe I can continue to make more content like that because that is getting a lot of impressions, or maybe even click in, see one of the hashtags that you use, and maybe that was responsible for that higher number of impressions. So always come in here and study and try and understand, why did that post get so many impressions, and continue to make more content like that so you can continue to get more impressions. Now, below our normal posts that appear in our profile, we can also see metrics for our stories. Now, this is not going to be shown for the last year, but for the last 14 days, but really sorted by impressions once again. And this is a great way to see again, what are those stories that are getting the most amount of really impressions and that our audience are liking. We can also see then the analytics for any promotions that we're doing. And also down the bottom here, which can be pretty helpful actually, is just a definition of some of the metrics that are shown up here. So impressions, just as a reminder, are the total number of times that all of your posts have been seen. And what is cool about that is, especially in this analytics section, is that it's the main metric for posts and stories. So if we click in here once again, sorted by impressions, and for stories it's impressions as well. So what that allows you to do is compare like by like, so posts with stories, and you can really see, okay, well, are my posts or are my stories getting more impressions? If your stories are getting more impressions, well then maybe continue to make more stories and continue to make more of the stories that are getting the most amount of impressions. So the analytics or the insight section here is fairly basic, but to be honest, this is all you really need to do. And the main thing you want to find out is which type of content, posts or stories, that are getting the most impressions, and which of those posts or stories are getting the most impressions again. So you're just drilling down into the most popular content. You make more popular content with the right hashtags, and you're just going to grow your visibility and impressions on Instagram. I think it's actually great the way it's so simple. Sometimes you can really be overwhelmed by all the reports in, say, Facebook Analytics or Google Analytics. So it's quite a simple analytics dashboard, but nonetheless, it can be extremely helpful to guide you towards growing your Instagram account. In this video, you're going to learn about the most exciting new feature on Instagram. It's called Shopping on Instagram. And this is incredibly exciting because it really changes Instagram from a platform where you can inspire customers and potential customers to a platform where you can sell directly to them. So let me give you an example of this. I'm on the Instagram account of this company, Tent Style, and you can see that they have pictures of their products here. It's kind of a tent that you tie up off the ground. Pretty cool. But you can see as I scroll down through their Instagram account, you can see in some pictures that there is a little shopping bag in the top right hand corner. So let's go click this open. Now I can see it says tap here to view products. And if I tap that open, up comes the product name and the actual price of it. If I click through, I'm going to be brought to this intermediary page where I can click through again. And now I'm being brought to the company's website where I can go ahead and buy the product directly. So this is extremely exciting for business owners because you can use Instagram as a way to directly sell to your customers now. And that's a big change from it just being a place to kind of inspire and show how the product is used in its environment, etc. So I'm going to come back here and just explain a little bit about how this works. So what's actually happening here is once you upload a photo, you just want to tag it, and then you can input the link to send off to so people can purchase the product. Now, Instagram isn't taking a cut of these transactions. That's the other exciting thing. If you wanted to advertise this post, then they would be making money on the advertisement, but they're not taking a commission on the sale, which is even better news for business owners. Now, I have to say that this feature here and shopping on Instagram right now at the time of recording this video is restricted to certain verticals for US businesses only. But I have done the research and the early trials have been extremely successful. So there's no doubt in my mind that this feature will be rolled out globally across every single vertical. So what does that mean for you? It means this is the number one reason why you should be taking Instagram seriously and building up your audience right now, because this ability to sell directly to your customers for free is just around the corner. So hopefully that has got you excited about this new feature and Instagram in general. And if you want to learn how to enable this feature, I will link the instructions in the resources of this video, and you can check then if it's available for you to do right now, or if not, just look forward to this coming to your market or vertical soon.